Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Wario Land 4 for the Game Boy Advance. And today we hop into the level known as the Arabian Night. Man, they missed a perfect opportunity to call that the Arabian Nights. Because wasn't there a movie called the Arabian Nights? I mean, I'm pretty sure the title itself is nothing more than a pun, but like, still, come on. That would have been perfect. God damn it. But anywho, yeah, unlike its particular theme, yes, this is a horror theme level. It's a bit inconsistent, I won't lie, because especially when you consider the next level coming up, you kind of question, does this kind of level really belong in the Sapphire Passage? I don't know. To me, personally, it definitely feels like the Sapphire Passage had to have been the last area they built levels off of, and um, I don't want to say they ran out of ideas, because the level gimmicks here are pretty damn fluid, if I do say so myself, but as far as level themes are concerned, I guess there's only really so much you can work with as far as haunted shit is concerned. But basically, the level gimmicks here are basically of two things. You fly around with a carpet, and you avoid these winged mongrel looking enemies that will respawn if you happen to jump off screen. So yeah, that is something to watch out for. And then another part here is basically of you going through these platformy sections where you kind of have to play around with the zombie ability a lot, and there's a lot of walkthrough floors out and about, and you actually kind of have to really pay attention to the terrain to determine where to go next. Zombie Wario basically gives you the ability to fall through platforms like that. You just jump into them, and that's about it. The ability can be worn off by simply either jumping into light or into water, and luckily for us, they actually happen to have a few pools lying here out and about. It's kind of funny though. They kind of actually acknowledged the fact that like they actually had like indoor tubs for like lounging about back in the Arabian atmosphere, so to speak, and they've got that in spades, good sir. Plenty of spades, indeed. So I'm just gonna jump down here, and eventually at some point or another they do start combining the two themes, and we'll have to be working around both of these obstacles at the same time. Yeah, this level definitely keeps up the variety here pretty damn well, if I do say so myself. One annoying quirk of this level, however, is because we are playing on a GBA screen, it can be kind of annoying to spot where Wario is going to be heading when he's jumping up, because you do have to jump to move the carpet up. And what I recommend doing is doing little baby hops, so you don't get too aggressive. I don't think the screen revenue is too bad, all things considered. Like, I think it's just right for a GBA game, comparatively speaking, but the issue can still kind of come up somewhat in a level of this caliber. There are also issue ways that you can't normally get into unless you have the carpet, and I actually remember missing out on this quite a few times in my first few playthroughs. I mean, obviously I was little, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but that's a pretty interesting puzzle. I didn't think you could do that too. That is such creative use out of the Super Bash. Like, you started up on the fucking carpet, and you're like standing there in motion and non-stop motion over like the fucking carpet as you're starting it up, and I don't know. Again, I love the creative liberty this game takes out of the abilities you're given in this kind of game, you know? I love this game, man. I don't know what to tell you. Because it's really testing, like, how the physics of these things work, and, like, you really have to think outside of the box to even spot something like that. That's not even, like, really something the game teaches you either. I mean, like, you're presented an obstacle, sure, but it's up to you to figure out how to solve it without too much in the way of information being handed out to you to make the solution too readily obvious. So it's kind of presenting you with this, and it's like, well, you've got the tools and devices. Well, we're leaving you up to your own devices to figure that out for yourself, buddy. Play around with the physics, play around with the controls, see what you find out in due time. Because as you can tell, Wario can't actually walk off the carpet here. He actually has to manually jump off if he wants to get off of that. And it's, yeah, this is something you would notice more so by accident rather than like, the game teaching you that this sort of thing can happen. I don't know. I miss that kind of thing, honestly. I feel like these days, like, the answer is just kind of given to you for these kind of puzzles all too well, and like, you never let the player, try to discover on their own whether this sort of thing works or not, But that's just me rambling as usual. Perfect. And oh my god, I can't even fucking see that thing. Well, I mean, I can, but barely. You have the fucking palm tree covering that up. Okay, so this here's a fun little puzzle. You jump through these pipes, and it changes the assortment of enemies, and you gotta play around with this up until you get the right combination needed to actually get Keyser. So this is actually a level where you end up getting Keyser pretty early on, comparatively speaking. Not many levels I can think of right off the bat where you get Keyser pretty early outside of the 40 below fridge. Because, like, Keyser's normally something you find towards the end of the level, but, like, this one's just being the exception because it can. Just gotta find me a light source or a pool of water. That'll do, I guess. And now, onwards for great justice. Speaking of Arabian Nights, I've actually been in a Disney binge-watching mood as of late. Like, I certainly remember, like, watching a lot of Disney movies when I was little, but, like, I never, like, I don't know, for some reason, when I reached, like, the age of 9 or 8, I developed this stupid mentality where I thought I was too good and too cool to be watching most Disney animated movies, even though I still watch, Pixar movies and the like. And I just kind of developed this thing where I thought it was stupid to be watching Disney animated movies. Maybe that's why they fucking make these live action movies, because there's stupid people like me back then that thinks stupid shit like that. And like, I was actually revisiting a few movies pretty recently. I actually went back and watched Mulan and The Lion King. And I forget just how good the dialogue was and the writing. Like, a lot of kid movies have this tendency to dumb down the dialogue to where, like, it's either too exposition heavy or they just spell it out to, like, the viewers. And, like, the fun thing about, like, the Disney animated movies, at least the Renaissance ones anyway, is that there's just so much subtext, and you're never really directly told anything. And god damn it, man. I don't know, I've been overly nostalgic so far in this episode, but, like, I miss when, America made competent 2D animated movies. I really do. Because we certainly need a lot more of that these days. Instead of anime having to fill that, craving every single goddamn time. Alright, so the escape sequence here has a sewer that you need to escape through, but the twist here is that there's actually a lot of things you can grab on the way here. You need to pay really close attention to the trails of coins here, because they do point you out. They do point out specific things you need to watch out for and abuse the carpet for to break. And yeah, you definitely need to have a keen eye out for these sort of things, or you will miss out on a lot of gold, a lot of treasure, because as you can see, I'm just barely on the mark of having a good enough quantity of coins to get my highest score. And oh, wow, I didn't even have to... Well, shit. Okay, I could have just came over here. Fuck. Give me that coin. Give me that money. Give me that money. But yeah, going back to my previous statement, we need more movies with subtext, and Japan doesn't need to be the only fucking thing that does this. And I'm not saying all animated movies are bad these days. Like, I certainly enjoyed recent movies. Like, I still think Pixar is certainly kicking it, for sure. And that one Spider-Man movie, Spider-Verse, was really, really good. But the problem is that, like, they don't come in, like, big quantities. They have this fucking Hollywood stigma where they gotta fulfill certain stereotype, criteria thingamajiggies, or, like, they're not gonna have these in big bulks. And then one person comes along and is like, oh yeah, remember when movies are good? I'm gonna make something like that again. And they just don't happen as frequently, That's why I can't be arsed to, like, be going into movie theaters these days anymore. Because to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like, it just comes off as a fucking hindrance sometimes. And I miss that. Well, you know what? Let's see. I'm already running under a minute late, and I'm pretty sure that only has a diamond anyway, so much for that diamond in the rough. Ha! I'm not funny. Here we are. That's all I really needed anyway. Man, they really threw a lot of gold at me during this section, huh? Yeah, what is it with the Sapphire Passage and fucking sewers? Like, the last level had a fucking sewer. Why does this level have... Whatever. Is the joke here because, like, we're playing a fat man and he's gross and he likes garlic and, like, it's supposed to be some kind of subtle nod at gross humor? Even though I don't really think the game here is necessarily gross in most aspects. It's more weird, if anything. And sometimes downright terrifying if you remember the eggplant boss back in the entry passage, but I digress. Here we are at the Fiery Cavern, where I question whether or not this should actually be a part of this passage, but nonetheless. This here is another short level during the main portion of it anyway, but once you hit the halfway point, everything just kind of changes. And this level kind of breaks a lot of rules, if you know what I mean. In the sense that, like, most things that didn't really hurt Wario, or at the very least he took damage from during the course of the game, actually suddenly hurts now. Like that lava, that don't put you on fire. That shit actually hurts for real, dog. You gotta steer clear of that. Oh, I actually didn't mean to do that. I'm retarded. And I didn't mean to do that either. Just gotta hit the right blocks, because I just now remembered this place kind of loops. I'm playing too reactionary, damn it. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Never mind. Never mind. I'm being even stupider than I anticipated. But yeah, the lava, no touchies. You stay away from that. And on top of that, the rolling boulders that these guys toss out, those hurt too. Even though we've clearly seen multiple times that rolling objects do not hurt Wario, they simply only flatten them. So it's kind of weird that they're breaking a lot of rules in this one level. One thing I kind of don't really like about this level, however, is that the lava fountains here are kind of instantaneous. Meaning, almost as soon as they get right into the lava or retreat right back into the lava, they come right back up. And that basically means you gotta time your jumps pretty perfectly. This level is out for blood here. You're not relying on transformation abilities here like most other levels here are. This place is a fucking death trap, and it's out to kill you. So maybe that was the horror aesthetic thing they were going for in this level. I could be wrong, but maybe that's what's going on here. The feeling of danger. Speaking of which, it's not every day that you see something that actually hurts you in a bonus game. Gotta steer clear of that. But yeah, fun little toss-up puzzle. Nothing more. This jump's kind of annoying, as you can see. And I think out of all of the levels in the game, if we're not counting the Hall of Hieroglyphs and its weird criteria for having to get 100% in that level, as far as the top score is concerned, this level is probably the hardest to not only get 100% in, but it's definitely the hardest one to get the highest score in as well. You really got to collect as much change as you possibly can, because you're not going to find nearly enough in this section, for sure. Most of it's going to be during the escape sequence, and a lot of that shit is going to be stuff that you got to break down in order to reach. And I lost some of my coins. Oh boy, I don't like this puzzle at all. Timing here is a bit too strict for my liking, but luckily the second time's a charm, and that's not a saying at all in any capacity whatsoever, but it's something I certainly made up, and my heart says it worked, so thank God. Thank God. Now, I did do a practice run of this stage. Well, by stage I meant the whole game, for that matter. And it's certainly not doing me any good against these assholes here. But nonetheless, I'm hoping my memory serves me correctly, because there's a lot of hidden shit here during the escape sequence. So yeah, as you can see, the level's pretty short, but we got a long escape sequence timer here, and for pretty damn good reasons. So now the entire level is iced over, and it completely changes both the tone and the pacing of the level entirely. Basically, now what we need to be doing is there's a lot of specific places you're going to need to break open, all the while dealing with ice physics and snowball puzzles and the like. And there's a lot of one-way bullshit too, so you really gotta keep your eyes peeled out here, or you're gonna have to revisit this level. Fun. So just gonna make my way through here. These ice blocks can only be broken with the snowball ability, I believe. I don't think they can be broken by, or, you know, destroyed by normal conventions here. But then you have random shit like this that is suddenly weak to, like, Snowball Wario's rolling ability and not much else. So the hints here for what you need to roll into to break them with Snow Wario aren't as obvious here as they are in the 40 below fridge. Just letting you guys know that, because it's going to be kind of annoying to contend with when you're trying to come through here and 100% everything. In fact, that might actually be something I can break. Let me check. Nope. Okay. Let's hope I'm not wrong. There should be another thing down here. I could be wrong. but you can never be too sure. Just where I wanted them, off the platform. Good going, me. Ah, pfft. Didn't even see that. That's my fault. I'm pretty sure you can go down there, though. I have plenty of time to spare. Let's check that out. Yeah, because there's an enemy down there. No? Okay. I'm just stupid. Barely making it out of here. Is there a snow ability I'm missing here? Great. Just when I thought my memory would actually help out here, it's working against me right now. Oh, Jesus. Okay, you know what? I think it's this. No? Shit. I'm about to fuck up. I'm about to fuck up hard. Yeah, there's something down there. Shit. Okay. Oh, God. No. Oh, that worked. Not the way I wanted it to, but it worked nonetheless. Oh, shit. How am I supposed to get that? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I might have to come back here and get the ice caught. I messed around too much. I got too overconfident. Crap. At the very least, I got everything. These icicles are popping up at the worst times. Jesus Christ. Well, at the very least, I don't have to come back here for the treasure again. Crap. I'm gonna have to revisit that level. Ugh. See what I mean? That level barely gives you enough coins, I think. You gotta really play your cards right for this one. Crap. Or maybe I would've if I didn't lose all that health. I don't know. Alright, so, I think, honestly, guys, like, as long as you know where everything is at, I mean, and you get everything within the right amount of time and don't dawdle about like I did, you should be able to get the high score just fine. So, in this case, I'm just going to get it off screen. You know where everything is at, so I think that should be pretty self-explanatory. So, next time, we tackle my favorite level in the game. So, see you guys then.